Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers take on Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens. With that, let's get up to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. There to call all the action, we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. The Raven defense taking the field a few moments ago, and their all-time leading sack man, Terrell Suggs, was firing up the troops. They get set for what should be a good matchup with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback, a former Blue Hen out of Delaware. It's Joe Flacco.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
First and 10 here for Flacco. Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. He's going deep for Brown. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big hook up there. Flacco to the speedster Brown. 61 yards.
Tell the truth, partner. You didn't think he was coming down with that one, did you? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what, though. A one-handed grab of that length. Talk about giving your team a little juice.
Oh, big time. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about that one, whether you're on the field or not. It permeates its way through the entire team, and I can't wait to see what they do on the next down.
Flacco from the gun. Oh, and it's incomplete. That would have been big in the end zone if he could have held on. Instead, it's 2nd down. And here now, the Baltimore offense.
Out of the backfield is Alex Collins, who was claimed by the Baltimore Ravens from Seattle just prior to the season in 2017. And he took over as a lead back right around the start of October, finishing with 973 yards and giving Baltimore their identity again on offense. A run-first team that's physical.
Collins now the lone man in the backfield, 2nd and goal. Now Flacco. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Michael Crabtree, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. And they'll be led out by Big Ben, their veteran quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. First carry for James Conner. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. The numbers there for Conner in last week's game. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
The Steelers, of course, had all the questions lingering with Le'Veon Bell. Tip of the cap to James Conner. He really has filled in nicely.
He prepared himself as if he were going to be the starter right from week 1. And I got to see him in preseason, and you saw a little bit of everything. His ability to run inside, also run to the perimeter, catch the ball out of the backfield. And how about his season opener against Cleveland? They didn't win the game, but he played awfully well, 135 yards rushing, and he helped close out a big win at Tampa Bay in week 3 on Monday Night Football with some nice runs down the stretch.
From their own 40 to the other 40. The gain of 20 leads to 1st and 10. Roethlisberger will hand to Conner. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Ravens have got it. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is
The stop
reversed.
for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
A big reason this team led the league in offense, their offensive line. Monster strength. 3 Pro Bowlers last year in Alejandro Villanueva, David DeCastro, and Marquise Pouncey. Kept their quarterbacks upright to throw it downfield and carved a lot of holes for their runners.
Now Roethlisberger. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
And Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
They'll begin the drive with Collins. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Give the tackle there to Morgan Burnett. Now the starting lineup here defensively for Pittsburgh. They currently sit at number 4 in the NFL in terms of stopping the run.
And that play right there shows exactly why they're so good against the run. Held the line of scrimmage, held the point of attack, and stuffed him for no gain.
Second down, Collins. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. 3rd down. Flacco needs a decent chunk of yardage. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. You got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
That's taken on the 25. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to fire one deep. That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain of 32 that time. At the end of one, 6-3, that's our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Connor. And he'll get this down only to the 18. The former Charger All-Pro Eric Weddle on the stop.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Roethlisberger will throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And now running right through it. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him, right? Tried to trick him, ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Oh, some strong running. And he's got it. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Flush to his right. Touchdown, Steelers! And after working on it all week, they're able to punch it in from the goal line.
Nothing like good preparation and even better execution.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Baltimore's offense coming back out here. And the Ravens, they lost last week at Carolina. Let's talk about their defense, though, because it had been allowing fewer than 14.5 points per game. But the Panthers sort of changed things up. They put up a season-high 36 on Baltimore.
Well, you're able to tamp down the pass rush with a running game. And that's what hurt Baltimore, because when they get people behind the chains, as they like to say, in obvious passing situations, they unleash people at them, and it works very effectively. Weren't able to do that in Carolina, so now they've got some big games coming up. Got to rebound. Unfortunately for them, they've got 2 home games coming up that'll be big, right? They go against the Steelers, then they get their open week, and then they get Cincinnati the week after, also at home. 2 divisional games that could determine their season.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On second down, Flacco to throw. Now a hit, and Flacco drops the football. It's loose, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
Well, we may not see him behind the big play sheet that they like to use, but I bet there's a big grin on the defensive coordinator's face. A corner blitz, what we often call a cat blitz. Usually they disguise it, Brandon. You're up on a receiver. It looks like you're going to bump and run with him, press coverage, and then he just takes off straight for the quarterback, and someone comes behind him to pick up the receiver.
And as a former member of the secondary, it makes you happy too, doesn't it?
I can't lie about it. I've got a big grin on my face, too. That was a heck of a play, a heck of a call.
Here's counter. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Where winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Roethlisberger coming up with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield. for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
They run with Connor. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Joe Flacco and company heading back out onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now, his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass. No interceptions for him personally to this point. Barring a flag, final play here for Flacco and company. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Montgomery. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll begin in the AFC at First Energy Stadium as Kansas City is in the land to take on Cleveland. And it's the Browns who have the lead late in the first half. Rashard Higgins, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they've got the lead in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. 2 touchdown passes for the veteran Alex Smith. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they trail the visiting Chicago Bears. The Bears trying to finish that one off and claim victory. In the game you've been watching, it was Ben Roethlisberger who led the way offensively in the first half. His guys lead it at the break as we send you back up to Baltimore and Brandon Godden. Brandon.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. Oh, and now he bowls him over. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Going for the deep ball. And this is caught inside the 5. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A big play there. touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Boswell for the extra point. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Second down, Flacco now. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Flacco to pass. Rush coming, and he's taken down. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Flacco here on 2nd down. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. 3rd and long for Joe Flacco. He's got his man. It's Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pick up there, 26 yards. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Passing play, Flacco. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We just saw another example of really good defensive football, which has led to the cushion that they have in this game. Got to him once again, knocked him on the ground, forced an incompletion.
Yeah, they've set the tone. It's one thing to set the tone, another to come in here on the road and set the tone. Now Flacco. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get right there. He left it just short. No good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Now it's Connor. Powerful running. Trucks through him.
Oh, man, right through him.
And he's going to get this one down to the 45. Brandon Carr there to make the stop.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Connor. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now Roethlisberger on first down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And they'll go on the ground, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 3rd and 1, it's Roethlisberger. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first. But at least it's 4th down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
That's fielded in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now Flacco and the Raven offense come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Back now in Baltimore. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, Flacco got his man. It's Williams. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Operating out of the gun, Flacco. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. There have been no struggles here for this crew. I mean, they were up double digits at halftime, and they've just expanded that here in the second half.
And it appears there are no answers from the defensive side. I think right now, if I'm the coordinator, if I'm down on the field, if I'm wearing a hat, I've already thrown it. If it's a visor, it's sailed, right? My game plan is down by my feet right now because nothing I've drawn up appears to be working.
Well, he's going to have to find something right now to stop this offense. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Big Ben, with his size, sometimes it still surprises me when he can dance for a first.
He's the preeminent quarterback at taking contact, shedding it, and turning it into a big play. You know what they say about him? It's not the first 3 seconds of the play that you worry about with him.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Steelers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now it's Flacco. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On first down, Flacco. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now second down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it, no one got it. Incomplete on first down. Now Flacco on second. Now a hit, and Flacco drops the football. It's loose. But it looked like a Raven was able to get in there, and they will indeed keep the possession.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up fourth down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 11. They start with a give to counter. Oh, he's got a little daylight. It's a foot race. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Boswell good with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. They have gone to the fourth quarter, by the way, in that game in Cleveland. And the Browns, they've surged back to take the lead there. If they hold on, a victory there would be their third of the year. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Throwing here on first down. Flacco. He's going to let it fly. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Flacco to throw again on second down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still ended up with a solid gain.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. Flacco from the gun. And he's got Snead. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Flacco. Snead's got it. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into it.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it. And the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. And they'll indeed take a knee. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Pittsburgh, that's now 5 wins on the campaign as they get the job done here. And they'll return home next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.